it's Rockline, and you're watching the other movie of the week, and the movie this week was Mulholland Drive, so if you haven't watched it, watch it now. This is your first movie of the week. What I do is I talk about a movie here, and you guys can comment your thoughts below, and then at the end of every video, I say the movie for next week so you can prepare. Now, Mulholland Drive. So this is the second movie thus far on the list that I have watched in a film class. So the first one was Sunset Boulevard, and now it's Mulholland Drive. As you can see, both movies about Hollywood, as in film class, we somehow, like half the films we watched had something to do with Hollywood. And I watched this in probably like one of my last film classes I ever took. It was actually in LA when we watched this film, and it was fiction film theory. It was a class. And it was like, the week was like something about symbolism. And we watched this film. And I am so, like, I know it's a crazy film to watch. I am sorry, but I had to. Yeah, so we watched this film. The entire time we had no idea what was happening. And afterwards, like, one of my roommates was in the class, so we were like going back home and we're like talking about it. We're like, what? I don't understand this movie. Like, trying to figure out, like, really went home and was like to our other roommates, like, we watched this movie, we had no idea what was happening. And we had to like look it up and like read articles about it to like understand it. And then in class we like talked about it. Obviously I forget everything we talked about, but like to just like try to understand this movie. And I do gotta say, my second time watching it, because I know like what it is, it makes sense. Like, I get it. Now, if you're confused what was happening, basically it was a dream. Like, the first like 80% of the movie is a dream, and then the rest is not a dream. once like they go to that like club, and then like at night, and then then it's not a dream. And that's what's confusing. And a lot of movies, they have like, it's like a dream, but it's very clear it's a dream. Like this, it's most of the movie, it's not clear it's a dream. Also, I want to say, in my last video I said for this, like, it was, okay, originally this is supposed to be a TV show, and they filmed a pilot for it, and then it did not get picked up by the studio because they thought it was too confusing. And I totally understand. Like, imagine if this was a TV show, it'd be so confusing. So yeah, so they ended up like just filming some more and then making a movie, but then even the movie is confusing. So it's a lot of symbolism, and obviously like I said, like, now my second time watching it, like, I'm not as confused. But I was still confused at some part, and I understand if this is your first time watching it, it is confusing. So we're gonna go over it. Also, I want to add, Mulholland Drive is a very famous drive in LA. In LA, we drove on it. It's a very windy road. It's not a nice road to drive on. I am not a fan of Mulholland Drive, but I think that's a lot of where like a lot of celebrities live because of the windiness. So it is like more like private and like exclusive in a way, but I don't know. So the opening scene with like the dancing and the faces, and that's just symbolism, because later on this character says that she like did like that dance competition. That's kind of how she got into acting. Maybe I should just say, long story short, so basically what this film is, it's about like someone who went to LA, you know, try to make it, was struggling, like saw, like had this other woman who was making it, and she was also in love with her, and she was like making it, and she didn't understand why this other actress was able to make it and she isn't, and she's in love with her. And then like she and that guy who's the director, you know, is getting married. So then she kind of like hires someone to kill her. And then once the person kills her, she like can't comprehend with what she did. So she like dreams this whole thing to try to comprehend with it. And then I think then she dies too. Basically, that's what it is. So in real life, her name is Diane. And that's why she switches with the waitress, because she just sees a name and she just switches with the waitress. That's basically what's happening with that. And then and then in the real life, the actress that she's in love with is named Camila. And in the dream, that is just some blonde girl that the director is told to just pick. He had to pick, or they were gonna like kill him or something. Also, Billy Ray Cyrus is in this movie. It's so random. Yeah, so she just like, she also in this dream, she can't comprehend like why this other actress just made it and she didn't. So in this dream, she comes up with like this idea where they just like force the director to pick the actress based on nothing, just like pick, and like that's how she comprehends with like Hollywood, and like she imagines it in that way to try to deal with the fact that she was not picked. There has to be an ulterior motive. Are you following? I don't know if you guys are following. Anyway, what else can I say about that? And so because she's also in love with this woman, she kind of like had it where like this person, like she had to save her, and then she had like has amnesia, and so that they can be close and everything, and she's like taking care of her. I guess if that makes sense. And so yeah, with the whole like name switch situation, she comes to LA all smiley, all pretty, everything, and also those two old people. And that's, I remember watching it for the first time, and this is pretty early on in the movie, where the two people are like driving in the limo and they're just smiling. And I was so freaked out. I was like, why are they smiling like this? And that's because it's in her dream, and just like it even shows it then like how happy like they're so like people are. She's making it like it you should realize then it's a dream. And yeah, in the end, like when she's like dreaming, like they start attacking her, it's all symbolism. It's all symbolism. But yeah, then you see in real life how like she's so different. Like she's not smiley, she doesn't have this glow about her. Like it's so different. She also has an audition, and in the dream, and the audition, it's like it just so, it doesn't, that's not how auditions go. And they're like giving her feedback, like thanking her, like she did amazing. That's not how it is. And she just had this, she in that dream had it where she's like, she's gonna make it in LA. She had this amazing audition. They're gonna hire her. Another casting director's into her. Like it just has to be that way. And that's how she connects to see like how they pick actresses. I'm trying to think what other things. It's just that like the blue key is just was like in the end like how she knew that Camila was killed. So I think that's like the symbolism with that. And then there was like this whole cowboy situation, and you know, he said like something about like, if you see me once, like you're okay, but if you see me twice, like that's bad news. And so you see the cowboy twice. After that, you know, one time when she's laying in the bed, he's like there. I don't know if he said something. And then like at the party in the real life, like you see him walk past. So like I also feel like they added so much symbolism to this film that like didn't, like extra things like the cowboy thing that didn't need it. And then that thing in the coffee shop that didn't make sense, where the guy was saying like, you were standing there and you were looking at me. She just like in the end in real life like saw him standing there, and then that's something she just remembered in her dream. It's like kind of in those moments in life when you're at something and you see someone or see something that just like makes you be like, wow, and like this moment I'm gonna remember because that person's wearing red. So it was coming like that. And when you realize like, okay, this was a dream, like it makes sense, because like dreams are always like all over the place, like not really making sense in a way, and that's kind of like what it was. And I also want to talk about, I didn't realize this the first time, but the second time, like a lot of like the camera movements was very like POV, like not really POV, but it was like very shaky, like kind of from like that person's point of view. And so like that even more so makes it a dream, because you're like in that headspace. So when you think about it, this film is actually brilliant because like they did symbolism and they did dreams in a way that's not cliche, and that is confusing, but it's like one of those films, like I guess you have to watch it again, like my second time, like I'm understanding it more. And like I think that's the purpose of film, to make you want to watch films most of the time and talk about it and go crazy being like, I don't understand it, which is like this film. But yeah, definitely it's a definitely very confusing movie. I'm trying to think whatever else. It's just that this person, you know, is in love with this woman, can't make it in Hollywood, like feeling a certain way, and she just hires someone to kill her, and she just has the first 80% of the movie is just her dream, trying to deal with this fact of what she did, trying to comprehend how she had this person killed, and just trying to like dream like this is what actually Hollywood is, and what, you know. So I think it's like, I think this film like shows like how crazy like I don't know, just like it kind of really shows like the reality of Hollywood, like how like people use dreams and like just symbolism. I don't know how to explain. I'm like going all over the place. I'm trying to think any other moments to really talk about. Also, like my first time watching it, like I felt like, you know, like I could really see that Betty and Diane's really, or Rita, whatever the woman's, they have her name be, like relationship, like, but like this, it was like, when you look at it, it's like it was only 2 days. So Mark Pellegrino was also in it. Yeah, I'm trying to think what else to say about it. It's just like, it's so confusing your first time watching it. So maybe you guys, if you watched it after me talking about it here, maybe you should watch it again. Or maybe you should read some articles. Maybe I should have looked up some more articles explaining it. But I understood it this time. And I just think it's such a confusing film. And I feel like he could have maybe lessened it a little bit. But so those are my thoughts and feelings about Mulholland Drive. I know it's a lot. But it's definitely a film like I feel people should see, and like it was very crazy to watch it in a film class. But it's probably, like, in my opinion, like a movie that like has the most symbolism, and like a movie that is very confusing. And sometimes movies are that way, and it's another level. But it wouldn't have worked for a TV show. I wonder if they would ever try to remake it. I don't know. But yeah, comment below your thoughts and feelings about Mulholland Drive. Maybe rewatch it if you need to. And the movie for next week is A Walk to Remember from 2002. So make sure you comment your thoughts from Mulholland Drive and watch A Walk to Remember for next week. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and bye.